What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and this is the B1KER Bar Podcast live stream. I don't know how many times I've said that, but it feels good every time. Here we are, episode 81, no front brakes. I'm really stoked to talk to Eric. It's been a while, and every time we chat, we have a good conversation. But before we get started, let's go ahead and do a little bit of conversating about things. You know, I have these awesome mugs that I made. I'm just making this up as I go. These are like tumblers, apparently is what they're called. That's a sticker from the Patreon sticker pack on the front of it. So that is actually not permanently printed on there. But on this other side, you got the B1KER logo. And you can pick these up at shop.biker.com, as well as this stainless steel credit card beer can shaped bottle opener that you can put in your wallet. This thing is awesome because it's so thin and so light that you don't really notice it in there, and you always have a bottle opener. And personally, I'm one of those guys that doesn't like a lot of stuff on my keychain. So I like having a bottle opener because it's good to have those handy, and you can just stick it in your wallet. You almost always have your wallet with you. So there you go. Swing by the B1KER shop at shop.biker.com or just biker.com. Click on the shop link. However you want to get there, get there. If you really like that stuff and a few other things, you could go to Patreon and join the tier that gets that whole swag pack. That would be pretty rad because I would love to have the support on the channel. And right now, this channel and the B1KER channel are both supported almost 100% by people on Patreon, because the ad revenue that I get is going to take a while for it to be a dump truck load of money. So until then, I'm leaning on you guys, man. I really am. So I really appreciate everybody that's over there. $1 a month, you can get access into that, get some coupons, save yourself some dough. That's pretty easy to do. I know there's like a 20% discount on Project 321 hubs. So if you were buying a set of hubs, you'd save like $100 or more right out the gate. There's like a 20% discount on Cali. So you need new pads, new helmet, you can get that. I think it's 15 or 20% on Cushcore. Like there's a bunch of stuff I have over there. So outside of that, there's also a $5 tier over there. You can get a sticker pack. You get access to some extra cut videos. I've been doing a bunch of extra videos on Patreon lately, and I feel like it's going to be my new thing. Instead of doing rough cuts, because I'm not making as many videos as I used to on the B1KER channel. What I've been doing is like just going out and taking the camera with me on a ride and doing one of those like super fast edits. That's more like whatever I did when I first started the channel. So a bunch of me dropping the F-bombs, a bunch of my stupid jokes, put together, no music, no like drone shots, just like quick, dirty edit, but something that's fun to watch. So if you guys want to get in on that, get over to Patreon, sign up for that stuff. If you guys want some stuff that's free, I tell you this all the time, man, hit up Instagram. I post a lot of pictures over there. If you're one of the few people that use Facebook, you do that. Get on there. If you use Twitter, I post to Twitter, but all it is telling you to go to Instagram and look at the pictures over there. So you'd be better off on Facebook or Instagram. Man, I want to say Twitter. Man, I don't know what I'm doing today. I've screwed things all up. Started this podcast, didn't even have my background ready for Eric. I was going to have to use Seth, but I figured you guys wouldn't want to call Eric Seth all night, or Seth Eric, or I don't know how that works. Anyways, here we are. This is the deal. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys one more time. Swing by my Instagram at B1KERB1 or my Facebook page at B1KERB1. That's the same thing there. Or stop by the shop at biker.com. One way or another, you guys are having a ball on the comments with my hair about me. I just took my hat off, man. Come on. I figured the messy look was good. It was going to be a good thing, but apparently everybody's just all excited about it. I'm going to tell you a funny story. The other day, I was in a meeting at work, and I'm because we're all working from home, we're allowed to like wear hats and be whatever. And I'm lazy, so I'm always wearing a hat. And I took my hat off, and this guy that I've been like in meetings with for the last few months is like, "Oh wow, you got a lot of hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Well, because guys that usually wear hats all the time are like bald or something." And I was like, "Nope, just lazy." So with that being said, be unlazy. Bring Eric on. What's up, dude?
You had to bring up my baldness, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, that would have been like an exact like description of how my life is if I would have done that whole thing and not been thinking about you being bald, because I do that stuff all the time. How's it rocking over there, man?
Oh man, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We made it through the Texas ice storm, ice apocalypse.
Oh, man, it's been crazy for you guys this year, huh?
Yes.
Everybody last year was like, man, 2020, screw that year, dude. I'm ready for 2021. And 2021 is like, hold my beer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how are things going back there? Like the whole COVID thing, you guys are starting to get back to business, or?
Well, I mean, our governor kind of technically opened it up, but most of the businesses are still keeping their mask orders in place. So, I mean, I wear one everywhere.
Yeah.
But kids are in school for the most part. I think in Owen's class, it's like 75% of the class is
My
there.
daughter goes back next week. It's like she's going to be in school for like a month before she graduates.
Yeah. But is she excited though?
I don't know. I asked her about it a while ago, like a month or so ago, and she was like, honestly, I like this better. She's like, I can go to school in bed in my pajamas. She's like, I don't have to wake up until like 7:55 when class is at like 8, and they didn't do class all day. Like they were out of school by like 12:30. So she's like, I only have to go to school for a couple hours. And she's like, I still get to go see my friends, like, or tight knit friends. They still hang out. So she's like, it'll be fun to go back, but yeah, I'm sure for you.
It's a little more tough for like the younger kids, I feel like.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I know. I'd be probably, and as a parent too, like the younger ones, like they need to go to school and like burn off their energy over there or something,
Yeah, especially since all the parents are working too. Like
right. Yeah, I mean, if you had like a stay-at-home parent, that would be like not that big of a deal. You'd be like, oh, okay, we just be parents, But when it's like a single parent, or even when both parents are trying to work, it's like the kids don't understand that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So yeah, I'm over it. I'm ready for this year. Things are starting to open up back up here, and we're in that like weird stage where you like have to wear a mask to walk to your table, but then you sit down at your table and you take it off and sit there for the next 2 hours laughing and drinking. But
yeah, I feel like as soon as they put like water down on the table, like you're good to go.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. As far as like I'm curious though. Do you think that as soon as everything opens back up, that there's going to be like a boatload of used bikes on freaking Pink Bike and stuff?
Oh, I actually kind of hope so, because I mean, I was talking to Rich Semi-Sendy earlier, or Scott. I'm looking for a DJ, but like most of the DJs are sold out. I love Da Vinci, and I'd like to get their Sabbath dirt jumper, but I can't score one of those until 2022.
Oh yeah.
And the only ones that I found in stock right now are the Polygon ones online. And then there's also, what is it, Commensal?
Oh yeah, I don't know how you say it. Is it Commensal or is it Commensal?
I don't know. I say it wrong.
It's like Thule. Can you say Thule or Thule or what is it? I don't know.
I think it's Thule.
I always say Thule because once I heard somebody say it that way, I was like, that sounds cool. I'm going to use that.
Whichever way I say it, it's probably going to be the other one.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like they're absolute. You can get in July, but yeah, I guess Rich has some Marin. I forget what the Marin one is up from him. So maybe I'll try to work something out.
Man, when you're on lockdown, you for whatever reason, it's like, it probably has nothing to do with lockdown. I just want to keep buying bikes, but I felt like being locked down made me want to buy bikes more. I don't know if that sounds right or not, but I one day went to the bike park and was like, I'm buying a dirt jumper. I went home, like spent like the next 6 hours, like looking at bikes and parts and all that stuff. And then like I was like, dude, you go to the bike park like once a year, man. Really? You're going to go spend another $2,000 on a bike that I don't know. I like the idea.
You can take to like a skate park or somewhere.
Yeah.
And anywhere where there's like a pump track.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a dirt jumper.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever told anyone that story. So Joseph moved to Colorado. I bought his dirt jumper. It had a rigid fork. It didn't have a like a circus or anything on the front. And I took it to a bike shop. And I said, I want to put a front suspension on this. I'm getting older, and I don't want to hard jarring hits every time I land.
Right.
It's not like I'm getting giant air anyway, but I just wanted it. And he's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to switch the axle. You're gonna have to put, you're gonna have to, to get a new wheel set basically.
Right.
I was like, nope. I've ridden this thing twice, and I might ride it more, but I don't know if I'm willing to put another like $300 into it.
Right.
So I sold it to a guy.
Uh-huh.
Now he is selling it, and guess what he did? He put a fork on it.
Uh-huh.
So maybe part of me thinks I should just like suck it up and buy it back. But
reach out to him, man. Do like full circle, dude. You just paid for the upgrade.
But if I can get a brand new dirt jumper, like completely clean, for not that much more, I don't know.
How much is a dirt jumper? Because one time I was talking to Daly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can get a dirt jumper for like $700." So like that day that I came home, I was like, "Oh, I'm looking for a $700 dirt jumper." I don't know if I got expensive taste or something, but I found everything that was like $2,000.
You can get really decent ones for $1,200 to $1,800.
Really?
Yeah. And then if you go on Pink Bike, you'll see like really crazy ones for thousands of dollars. But
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of feel like you can get what are they called? Haros. You can get like a Haro dirt jumper for pretty cheap for a couple $100, I think, like 500 maybe.
Yeah. Interesting. I should get one. What do you like about that compared to like, why can't you just ride like your mountain bike at a pump track?
Well, so like we had gone a couple times and taken the kids to like the Central Texas BMX track. And Phoenix, Rain's daughter, was racing for a little bit, or just like in their like BMX program. And I took my mountain bike once, and I'm like, it's not fun to ride. I just feel like my suspension, even if everything's locked out, is just like soaking it up. So I took the dirt jumper when it was full rigid out there, and it was fun. I mean, my shoulders were like wrecked afterwards, but I feel like, I don't know. I never grew. I hadn't had a BMX since I was like 12 or something. So I never really grew up with that discipline, but I feel like that a lot of that knowledge transfers.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, dude. I mean, I grew up riding BMX, and I think it's part of like our generation. I don't know how popular it is nowadays, but like our generation was like, dude, Rad came out, like if you saw Rad, you were riding BMX bike for the rest of your, like there's no way you couldn't. It was just very popular back then. And I definitely would say that, whenever I got into mountain biking, a lot of that stuff crossed over for sure. I think that's why, I mean, even now I tell people I usually buy a large frame instead of an extra large. And people are always like, why do you do that? And I think it's because the BMX part of me, like I like that smaller frame. I feel like I can whip it around a little bit more, and just feels good.
Well, I just feel like, like TOFT just said, like pump track is a great workout. Like, it's crazy. I thought, I ride bikes all the time. I'll just go around and, ride my dirt jumper around the pump track a couple times, see how it feels. And after doing that for a couple hours, just taking some laps, like your shoulders, like, I feel like my traps are going to start to like get real huge, look like a weightlifter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you there. I usually take my hardtail whenever I go. And the last time I went, I turned on my Strava just to like PR the whole thing. And and honestly, just to see like how far I rode. I ended up riding like 7 miles.
Dang.
Yeah, but it was like you do a lap, and let's just say the lap is like, I don't know, man. If it's like 300, if it's 100 yards around the outside of that pump track, I'd be surprised. And by the time you get done with one lap, you're like, okay, I'm taking a break for like a couple of minutes because you're like totally winded. You know, you're like, this is like not something that you do like over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
well, I mean, it's like skateboarding. Like skateboarding is the same way. Like you go try something, maybe string 2 tricks together, then eat it, and then go sit and nurse yourself and wait for your friends to all go, and then you go again.
Yeah. And it's crazy how fast the time goes. Like I went down there, and I think the last time I was there, that day that I was like the whole dirt jumper thing, like I was probably there for 2.5 hours, and I did not feel like I was there that long, you know. And it was just like you said, though, by the time you're done, man, you're just like shoulders, even your abs, like you get a lot of the core workout from trying to just pump through all the course. It's definitely something else. It puts the hurting on you.
I always get frustrated though when I'll go and I'll like eye up a line and I'll be like, okay, well, I want to be able to clear that table, or I want to be able to like, double that, and then I'll just do it. And it's kind of the like old like 90s skate video, you know, trying something and then not being able to do it and being like, ah, like I always feel like that comes out when I like I'll just try it over and over, and eventually I'll just be like, all right, I'm done. I'm moving on to something else, and then I'll go hit another section for a little bit.
There is this tabletop like right out of the drop-in of the park that I go to, and I tried that whole time I was there. I was like just trying to clear this like jump of it, you know, or like I couldn't get it. It's like a step up or something. Now I'm remembering it. Yeah, I think it's like a step up. It's like a little step up to a tabletop, and I just over and over and over just cased it the whole time. Finally I did like what you said. I guess it's not happening today, you know.
Yeah, well, there's this crazy jump line. I mean, it's called Reveille Peak Ranch. People from around here know like there's actually like 4 or 5 jump lines there, even though it's just like a regular ranch. It's not lift, it's not like an actual bike park. But there's this one trail called El Patron. And so it starts out and it's just like some rollers, you can double them, and then it starts getting into tables. And as it goes on, the tables get bigger, then bigger, then bigger.
Oh, it's like progressive.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yep. And so I'll clear the first 3. I'll be able to hit those. And then 4, bonk. I just like hit the knuckle of the jump, case it every single time. I get so mad. And then I just have to like get away from it for a while, because it doesn't matter how much I preload, how much I yank. Like I
feel like it's a speed thing for me. Like I'm just afraid to go that fast, and I know if I hit it fast enough, from my back in my BMX days, like we used to hit big jumps all the time, and it was just like, I don't know, man. The 40-something-year-old Robert is like a pussy, you know. He's like, hit the brakes, dude, hit the brakes.
Yeah. I do that too. I do that all the time, where like I'll like roll up on something and then I'll just end up scrubbing it instead of trying to jump. And then, you know, it's like, it's in my videos all the time. I'll be like, I'll just make that noise because I'm freaking out.
Yeah. I feel like I get myself almost hurt or in precarious situations because of that, instead of just trusting my skill set. Like my buddy Moonlight, dude, he trusts the shit out of himself, maybe more than he actually should, but he does, you know. And because of that, he just goes into things and he does them. And I'll be looking at it and I'm like, I know I can do this, but I cannot bring myself to like roll over the top of it. You know, it'll just be, I'll be stuck.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he also is like, he'll do anything you tell him to do.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to tell him. He just comes up with it on his own, dude.
Yeah. Well, Raymond was talking about that the other day. Like, there are some people that don't like eyes on them while they're trying something new, and that's Rain.
Yeah.
And then me, if someone's like, hey, eat that coyote poop, that would be really funny. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
People can talk me into anything if they can convince me that it would be really amusing.
Yeah. I wish I was like Marty McFly. You could just like call me a chicken or something like that, and I'd be like, that's it, I'm doing it.
What is Back to the Future 3 is like, what are you, yellow?
Yeah. Such a good movie. You know, we were talking about that Rad earlier, and I'm like, man, that would be a fun one to be remade, but I feel like all the remakes are like they're not doing these movies justice. I'm not happy about it. How about you?
Justice League Snyder Cut was okay. I know that's not really a remake, but
which one?
The Justice League, the Snyder Cut that came out.
You know what? I haven't watched a lot of those the Marvel-y comic book kind of movies.
Oh, well, that's DC.
Whatever it is, dude. DC. Oh man, I think I just like pooped on somebody's religion or something, right?
Well, I believe I watched a 4-hour movie twice already. I mean,
yeah,
it was a long one.
I watched a couple of them when they first started coming out, but then all of a sudden, for somebody that wasn't like a big comic book person, it felt like they like teased us with a couple, and everybody's like, "Yeah, these are good." Next thing you know, they were like, "Well, bam!" And you had like 70 of them. You know, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, I think also, I mean, Marvel seems to get it figured out, but I think with DC, they like, from what I've read, it seems like they think that there's like a formula to releasing the movies, and so they kind of constrict the directors to that, which is what happened.
So, like, school me here, man. Is like, what's the DC and what's the Marvel? I don't know who's who. Like, it's like one of them's like Superman, one of them's like the Avengers or something. Which one's which?
Yeah, DC is Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, everybody
like the Wonder League or whatever they called it when that wasn't there a cartoon like that when we were a kid? Justice League, that was it.
Yeah. And then Marvel is like all the X-Men, all the Avengers, Spider-Man, literally everything else. Classic 4, which I think they're gonna make for the 4th time, and hopefully this time it won't flop.
Dude, you know which one I saw that I wanted to be so freaking good, but it ended up kind of flopping to me? Was that one that they did where it was like a reboot, and it was like Superman, except for Superman was bad. Did you watch that one? He was like an evil kid.
Brightburn, it was awesome.
Which one? I felt like it was one of those ones that I enjoyed, but I felt like I could rewrite it a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, it had some pretty ridiculous moments where you're like, oh snap.
Right? Yeah. No, it was cool. It was definitely like a good twist. Like I liked that. And for ones that were redone, there was one where they rebooted like Star Wars or Star Trek. And they like took a whole different route, and I was like, this is what they need to do. Like, you're gonna do it again, do it like this, where it's like a difference. Like, they could take Star Wars, right? And instead of like Luke freaking, fighting his dad, like he's like, you know what? You're right. I am gonna be on the dark side, and they just wreck shop. That would be sick.
That's my religion. If I ever have one, it's always Star Wars. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, there's like a big difference between like Star Wars people and Star Trek people, right?
But yeah, what do you think it is?
I think the Star Trek people are more like gadgety kind of people, and the Star Wars people are more like fantasy kind of people.
Yeah. Yep.
They're more
they're more like spiritualist.
Yeah.
Star Trek people are more of like
you have the, like all these cool gadgets, and, you get to beam them up, and you got these laser guns and the communicator, or the what was it? The holodeck and stuff like, what I mean? I feel like, you had kind of more of a focus on those kind of things. Whereas like Star Wars is like, dude, like this different planet, this different galaxy, this like, I don't know. If I had to choose one, there's no doubt in my mind it's Star Wars, 100% Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm in pretty deep though. I mean, I'm still really excited to figure out who they're going to get to play a live action General Thrawn.
Yeah. Where is that going from now?
So it's just going to be a bunch of TV shows. So I don't know if Mandalorian is, I think it's continuing, and then they're going to have like,
if it doesn't continue, I'm going to murder somebody. I'm like all in on that show.
Well, there are going to be like something like 12 different Star Wars shows on Disney Plus over the next couple years.
Oh, I'm in. You know how I said I didn't know how to handle the DC Marvel thing blowing up on the movies? Yeah. Like, I'm all in on the Star Wars stuff though.
Even their animated shows like Clone Wars and Rebels is really good. I love Star Wars, so
Like I think not the last release of the last Star Wars movie, but I think the one before I like watched all of them over again. And when I was watching number 1, episode 1, I was like, man, I remember when this came out, I thought the CGI was sick. And now it just looks horrible.
What, Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to go back and watch 1 through 3.
It is hard to watch. But while I was watching it and being a person that does editing and stuff like that now, I was like, dude, they could 100%. I know they're going to do it. Like 25-year anniversary, just redo all the animation. And because they still have, it's all the same, like green. A lot of that movie is like green screen shot, you know?
Yeah.
So all they have to do is all the CGI work again, and that movie will like completely change.
I mean, shit, they're already deep faking, like Mark Hamill, Mark Hamill into Mandalorian, or like, Princess Leia into, what was it, Rogue One?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Or whatever. The guy, I forget his name. He was like a general. He was like a real.
Yeah, he passed away.
The guy with the pointy nose, but he's been dead for like 20 years, and he was still one.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this while I was writing the other day, and I was like, they've done that so well where they could almost like do all the characters in the movie, and you wouldn't barely know. You know what I mean? Like until you're like, oh well, wait a minute, those guys are dead. Like like.
I mean, Leia looked a little weird, but Mark Hamill in Mandalorian looked a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
there's something. It's almost like there's something about it that's like too smooth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't have it. Like, kind of like plastic surgery on a person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
it doesn't look not
exactly.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. Here we are on a mountain bike podcast talking about Star Wars. Right? I'm gonna say one more thing. What was your favorite one out of all the Star Wars movies so far?
Frick. It's gotta be, I don't know. It's a tie between Empire Strikes Back and Rogue One. Rogue One is the best encapsulated Star Wars for sure.
I definitely let's see. How about you guys in the comments? Go ahead and throw up what your favorite was. And I'm in on Rogue One. I remember like when I first watched it, I was like, this just is such a great story. I love the fact that like the way it ended. I mean, they had like spoiler alert, they all die,
I know. That's totally unlike anything they've ever done. And also like Ben Mendelsohn is like one of my favorite actors. Yeah. So he was like a great villain in that.
Yeah, no, that was super good. Definitely good.
But obviously, wait, which direction do I have to lean? Empire Strikes Back, right?
Right. Those things are cool. What is that? That's the AT-AT, right?
Yeah, AT-AT Walker, and there's a bunch of other.
Yeah. Good. Those things are awesome, man. Is that a Lego one, or is that like a real one?
Yep. It took like a month. Obviously I'm working with a 9-year-old to put it together. Right. I mean, we spent like a month putting it together pretty much.
I loved Legos when I was growing up. I was like, man, I can't wait to have a son so I can play Legos with him. And my son, all the Legos I ever bought him would like get put together by me, and he would just be like watching me while he's like playing some game on his DS and like totally not intrigued at all. He'd be like playing Legos on freaking his DS, but not putting it together.
Well, I remember getting Lego sets for Owen and being like, helping him put him together and getting really stoked. And then he wants to just like trash it, take it all apart. And I'm like, no, you have to keep that together. I mean, how are you going to tell a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old that?
Yeah, right. So now I just buy them for myself. My daughter was telling me yesterday that I'm a dork because I play with Legos. And I'm like, no, not. I'm cool. I got a YouTube channel. She's like, no, Dad, you have Legos. Like, seriously, you're a geek.
Yeah, I mean, aside from him, I don't really put together the Legos on my own.
I got on this kick whenever, I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
I changed jobs, and it was like, I wanted like some stuff for on my desk because I started working at this software engineering company, and they're all like got cool stuff all over their cubicles and stuff like that. Like, so I was like, man, I need some cool stuff too, So I like went through this phase where I was buying all these like little miniature Lego sets, and I was like, "Ooh, these are fun." I put a little like X-wing together, but it only takes like 15 minutes, like little like stuff like that. Those were fun, but I'd love to build like the Millennium Falcon. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, those blind boxes.
Blind box. What's
They're
that?
like, it's like you can buy them at like a comic book store or wherever, and it's just like
Oh, you don't know what
like this.
Yeah.
You have a 4 out of 6 are like really normal. You it's just like random, and then there's a chance for getting 2 special ones, and they'll do series of different ones. And I bought at one point. I got almost all of there were like X-Men ones, and I got I got them. I had them lined up on my monitor at work, and then I had to like go on eBay to buy the last 2 because I wasn't about. I mean, I'm not going to just keep on dumping like $8 a pop for these little like.
Try to find them.
Keep getting the same ones,
right? I wonder if their like marketing department is like actually marketing us now, or they're marketing kids. You know what I mean?
Both.
Yeah. There's some place that I read about. It's in like I want to say it's in like Norway or something like that. That there was this like container ship that like wrecked, and it was like full of Legos, and this like beach is like there's like Legos mixed in the sand. Like you can go out there and just pick Legos up all the time because there's like a billion Legos out in the reef, like right out in front. Look it up sometime. Those of you on Google. I don't know where I ran into it. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, how many Legos are in the Suez Canal right now in shipping containers?
Right.
Along with half of the world's bikes, probably.
Right. That's where it all is. So, man. So 2022 seems like the only way we're gonna get new bikes.
Man, I mean, I'm lucky. I love my bike. It's awesome. Yeah. I treat it like shit, but it's still like incredible. Like a long travel 29er that climbs like a monster. It's like everything I could have hoped for.
What are you riding now? Are you still on?
Yep, on the Da Vinci Spartan.
Ah, right on. I was gonna say the High Tower. I remember I forgot you changed bikes.
Oh yeah. I was on I still have it actually. It's my backup bike.
Right on.
Which
it's
means
good to have a backup bike, dude.
Yeah, but I've had that for like over a year and a half, and I haven't sat on it once.
I think you need a backup bike that's really different from the bike that you have. That's the problem. Yeah. So like I have the hardtail, and then I have the Bronson. You know, so the Chameleon is a hardtail, and that's really fun. And it's like whenever I want to like make something harder, you know, I take that. You know, or if I know it's going to be like this is all a pretty flowy place, I don't really need that. You know, I'll take that. So I definitely find myself like switch hitting with that thing a lot.
Yeah. Well, I thought about a 27.5. Because I've never even had one actually. I've always had 29ers, but it would be fun to have a 27.5, something that's like really, nimble and flickable. Like get like maybe even get like a medium size or something.
Yeah.
Something that you can just like. I don't know. Or just get a dirt jumper like we said earlier.
Right. Well, there you go, man. Why don't you just sell the High Tower right now? You can get some bank for that thing, dude. Like the COVID pricing on the used market is doing good.
Yeah. I mean, it's old. It's a 2016. I don't even know.
I had a 2017 Bronson that I sold this year. I sold it for $3,800, dude. I bought it for $5,000 like 3 years before that, dude.
That's insane. Yeah.
I mean, it was a CC and carbon wheels and stuff like that, but I mean, it's still, dude. I was on the channel for 3 years, dude. I rode the shit out of that bike.
Yeah,
it's not like it wasn't, scratched up or whatever. But
I remember when we were looking for a new bike for Rain, and she like had her Yeti. It was like an SB 4 or 5 or whatever, and we threw it up to see. And then we went for a ride, and some guy was like, "Oh, I'll come out and I want to take a look at it." And you're just like. Hands us an envelope of cash. He's like, I'll take it. And we're like, oh, okay. Like no negotiation, no whatever.
Yeah.
It's a crazy market.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting rid of my 29er or my hardtail and getting a short travel 29er. Like I've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And it's like every time I think about putting the picture, I know as soon as I post that thing, it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I just can't bring myself to make the post because I'm afraid of what you just said,
Yeah. That it'll just be gone suddenly.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm really doing this. So I have to feel like I'm definitely ready to get rid of the hardtail. It's just like
the Chameleon.
Yeah.
Would you get a non Santa Cruz bike, or would you stick with Santa Cruz?
There's a couple of bikes I've been thinking about. So first is obviously the Santa Cruz Tallboy. Yeah, that's one. I've been thinking about the Revel. They have a shorter travel 29er. And I've been thinking about, what was the other one? What did Semi-Sendy just get? He did a video on it. He's in the chat. I'll wait for him to throw it up there. He did a video. Maybe his was the Revel. Maybe he's the one that got me looking at the Revel.
Oh, somebody. He's going. Get a short travel 29. You won't regret it. He's going to tell us.
Yeah, he's going to tell us.
Like okay.
Huh?
What about like a Ripley?
Ripley. Is that the Ibis?
Ibis Ripley, yeah.
My buddy Richard from Stickered, he had one. He's been trying to talk me into one too, and I don't know, man. I haven't liked the Ibises that I've ridden, and it could be I haven't given one like a full on like, hey, this is a demo day kind of thing. It's like get on one of your friends' bikes and maybe the seat's not set right or the brakes aren't the ones that you like. And so it's like I walk away with these like shitty reasons why I didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Rich said Rebel Ranger.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. He was the one that got me thinking about the Rebel because I didn't know that they had a short travel, and their bikes are pretty. Mm-hmm. Like every time I feel like them and YT, like you look at the pictures and they look like, oh yeah, that's a nice bike. But when you see them in person, both of those companies are like, man, that thing looks sharp in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was another one though. Oh, I know. The Dennis bike. I was really thinking about that Yeti because they have it in white, and I don't know
which one. SB.
The shortest travel one that they just came out. It's like a 115 or a 100 or something like that.
115.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that would be pretty fun too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I said we were talking about Star Wars earlier. I think it's the Ripmo, the Ibis Ripmo has a color that is it's like Death Star gray or something.
Oh, they just got you on the name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even though it's gray, it's not like they color match the palette from.
Yeah, but they got blessed by like Mark Hamill, you know. They're like,
yeah. There's like a copyright Lucasfilms.
Right. Yeah, that would you're in then, dude. Guess you're getting an Ibis.
There it is, Star Destroyer Gray Ritmo.
There you go, Star Destroyer. That just sounds.
What a great way to name it.
Right. I feel like you'd have to get Stickered or some company like that to do some like decals to like make it look like the Death Star or something. I don't know, like some kind of Star Wars theme to it.
One of my friends did a paint job on a bike, and he made it like Stormtrooper, where it was the bike frame all white. I think I forget what bike it was though. And then I think it was Evil. It was Evil. And then
go ahead.
And then I think he did some like red, like remember like the in Force Awakens.
Like blood across the face.
Yeah. And I think it was all black and white, and then I think he had a little piece of red in there. That'd be sweet.
That would be nice. I did a black and white bike build once, and I even had like remember they had like these like 2.5-inch like Lego guys that were like actually like a flashlight. And I had one of those like on the head tube and like took the keychain part, and it was like a little Stormtrooper, and then the bike was black and white too, and that was kind of fun. I liked that bike. That was fun. But I built a white bike once, and I really liked it a lot. Like I just liked looking at it, and when I saw that Yeti, I was like, oh man. But now you got me thinking I could do it like RT-Do2, dude.
Oh yeah,
I love the blue. The ladies always tell me because I'm always
a chrome color.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Chrome, white, and blue.
Oh yeah, because they could do those chrome stickers now too. So you could get like, oh yeah, that'd be sick. I'd definitely be getting. So somebody's saying they were after, let's see here. Straight Line MTB says, I was after a 115 as well, but the Geo puts me off a bit. It's a little short compared to the current competition right now. This is one of those things where I haven't sat on the bike. I haven't even read the geometry of the bike. I just looked at it and was like, oh yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
Like, I felt that way about an FJ Cruiser for a long time. And then I went to the lot and sat in it. And like in 10 seconds, I was like, I don't like this thing. But right now,
I feel like you're like me though. Like you'll pick a bike exclusively because of the color.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Like there's no like I see like Alan's new bike is so sick. That Ninja Turtle, it's like green with like pink. It's a Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah, he's got the no, not the Bronson. It's the other one, the Nomad. He's got the Nomad.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like,
I think
that bike is sick looking.
Yeah, they've had a few really good colors over the years. And I think the Nomad, there was one that was like a really light kind of teal color with like pink letters.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was sharp, man. Every time I saw it, I was like, dude, that thing is sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like the ones, I like when a bike is like chrome colored.
Uh-huh.
Or if it's like a murdered out black, like no gloss, just flat.
Yeah.
Black.
Just everything black, just totally blacked out.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know. I like the bling, man. Lately, I've been on this like bright, I don't know, like I'm reliving the 80s or something like that. Like all the like super loud, obnoxious gloves from Hand Up, I keep buying. And I don't know if you've seen my bike right now. I have like pink decals on them. So it's like the primer gray bike with pink decals. This thing is like all the ladies like it. I get all kinds of cracks about. Well, then I'm like, you know, I'm Mr. Matchy Matchy. So it's like I bought that Crashing Dad shirt that's pink just so I could wear it while I ride my pink bike. So my pink socks and my pink gloves. I'm like a breast cancer awareness ad just rolling down through the woods, man.
Yeah, there's a couple bikes that I see that I'm like, ooh, I would like to, like, I don't know anything about geometry. All I know is when I sit on a bike, if it feels right. But even when I'm sitting on bikes, there's a couple that I would be like, ooh, like Polygon has, I think it's Polygon. They have like this weird, like, their down tube has like a horizontal where it changes colors. And I think Salsa kind of does something similar too. And that looks really cool to me where like partway down the down tube, it just changes to another color. Oh,
wow. Dude, you know what? Do me a favor and rant for a second. I want to look something up real quick. You got it. How about you tell me about what it is that you love about your bike that you're riding right now?
Oh, the thing first, so I'm awful at bikes, but I had a VPP on my Santa Cruz, which is a Dave Weigel linkage, which I don't even really know what that. I just know that there was a guy named Dave Weigel and he designed a bunch of suspension systems and everybody loves them. But on the Da Vinci Spartan, it's called a split pivot, and it is like a little triangle on the seat stay, and it is also patented by him. And the suspension system is amazing because it is 170 and 165 in the rear, and the thing is super squishy when I'm going downhill, but when I'm climbing, I don't feel like I'm pedaling and the bike is flexing into the ground. And that's what I love about it. It does feel weird. It feels like I'm sitting up really high on the bike. But I don't feel like, I never feel uncomfortable. Like I never feel like I'm going to topple. And I can track, I've never been able to track stand, but on that bike for some reason, I think it's just because it has a long wheelbase. I can just sit there and freeze and twist my front.
Right. But you couldn't do that before, huh?
Oh, definitely not on Santa Cruz.
Really?
Not on the high tower. I couldn't do it.
What made you want to get rid of the high tower?
I just wanted a new bike. I had that bike for 3, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that can just like try a bunch of bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. You can't just like walk into the shop and be like, all right, we'll look around.
We knew someone and he's like, oh, you're going to like, it was the guy who had been working actually. He sold Da Vinci and he had been working on my Santa Cruz and he had helped me like replace a bunch of stuff on it. And he's like, you know what? Why don't you just buy a Da Vinci? Why don't you just get it I'll see what I can do. And I was like, okay. And then I got it, and I had a race the weekend that I picked it up, and I was going to ride the Santa Cruz in the race because I was like, I don't want to ride a brand new bike for the race. And I loved it that much for that first ride that I was like, the next day was the race, and I'm like, all right, let's go, and rode it. I don't know. It's definitely the best bike I've ever ridden, for sure.
That's awesome, dude. It's good whenever you find something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
When it just like clicks for you.
Oh, dude, that's how I feel about my new Bronson. And I'm sure everybody takes it with a grain of salt because like I'm a fanboy or whatever, but I freaking love this bike. Like if this bike had some other company's name on it, I would love it still. Like I just feel like they nailed it. They nailed it on that. So check this out. I didn't even know this, but Ducati, I got to see what I'm doing here.
Oh,
yeah, Ducati makes an e-bike, right? But look at the paint on it. The way that they did the paint, like how you were saying, like they go from one color over the battery into it, and it just looks so good compared to the way other e-bike. I just thought like the paint design on it to make it not look so like cringy, like with the way most up here. There we go. That's actually a picture.
It looks pretty slack too.
Yeah, no. First of all, since when did Ducati start making e-bikes? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't look at the specs or anything. So anybody that looks this up, like Ducati e-bike, it could be a horrible build. It could be a great build. I don't know anything about it. I just
Shima, right?
Yeah. I just saw it the other day and was like, the paint job's just sick. And it makes sense to me because they make really pretty motorcycles. So, but yeah, who knew that they did e-bikes? So
that's interesting.
Right? Yeah. You mentioned that other paint scheme a second ago, and I was like, oh my God, I got to show you this. You got to see this.
That's wild. What car company made an e-bike recently? It's not Ducati. It was like
an e-bike.
Mercedes or somebody like that. I don't know.
Really?
I remember seeing it and people were talking about it, and they're like, oh, I bet it's the piece of shit. Because it's just like it's not really a mountain bike. It's just
right.
Porsche. That's who it was. Porsche did.
Oh, Porsche. Oh, I think I did see that, dude. I totally think I did see that. Let's see. Oh, now I got the tab. I had the tab shared. Let's go ahead. We'll go add it back to the screen.
Let's take a deep dive.
Here we are now. We're this kind of podcast where we're talking about stuff that people are listening.
You're going to type POR and something else is going to come up.
Let's see. Porsche mountain bike. Images. Oh, here it is. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
Where did it go? There it is. Well, bam. That's sharp. Yeah, I just can't wait for whatever they got to do to make the battery not make the down tube look like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why did it not go to the other? It's not showing the other page I was on. Oh, because it popped up a new window. That's why. Okay, hang on. Here, let's go back over there. Let's stick it in that window. There we go. There. Like that. It's still not showing it. Why is it not showing it on there? What am I doing here? Maybe it's like I need to add something else again. Here, let's try this again. Sure. A video.
It had a really good point. He's like, here's when you know bike prices are way overinflated when auto manufacturers get into the game.
Right. They're like, hey, I'm in.
Let's sell this bike for half the price of one of our cars.
Here we go. Is it up now? Is it finally
yeah.
Up? There it goes. Okay. Yeah. That thing's sharp too. But like I was saying,
what is that stripe? That's not like a watermark on the picture, is it?
No, it's like the way it's painted across the frame there. And then there are some like light kind of shining on the wheels.
Oh yeah.
But I think the frame's painted that way. They're kind of like these like yellow lines you see across it.
And the rear triangle, right?
Say that one more time.
It goes across like the
yeah
CPU and the rear triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I'm not really in love with that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But I think the Ducati one was prettier.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one just on looks, I would definitely get the Ducati.
Oh, I actually do want an e-bike, honestly.
Oh yeah, dude. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't want one. Honestly, I'm not like the get off my wave kind of mountain biker, you know? Like I even with like hikers on the trails, like I don't care. You know, some people get all like irritated about it. I'm like, dude, whatever.
Is that a thing? I don't see that here too much.
Yeah. The e-bike thing, people aren't like anti-e-bike.
Well, like there's not like you're driving a motorized vehicle on my trail. Like I don't really see that part of it.
Yeah. I think Californians, like, I don't know what it is. They just want to hate everybody or something. I don't know what it is. Like you go somewhere like, I don't know. It's just whatever reason. And out here it makes even more sense than it does where you live. It's like, dude, we got these huge freaking climbs. Like, why would you not want to do like 40 miles in an hour or 2 hours instead of doing like 10 miles in like 1 hour? It's not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, two things that I've learned along the way here. Whenever I rode one, there is absolutely no way that I would replace my analog bike with only an e-bike. Like, it's a totally different kind of ride. It's fun in a different kind of way. At least for me, it wasn't like, I could totally see where it being like how my hardtail is. Like, this kind of ride, I'm going to take that bike. This kind of ride, I'm going to take that bike. Mm-hmm. The other thing is the whole, like, I pedal for fitness and I'm not going to get fitness out of it. Go rent one and ride freaking 30 miles and you'll see you're freaking dusted too.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Well, I knew that like it wasn't going to kind of like fade off into the sunset when I started seeing like enduro categories, like race categories for e-bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that that's happening, like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna. You know, go ahead.
No, you go.
The guy that does my tattoos, he has a road bike, an e-road bike, and apparently you can like pop the battery out and it's a regular analog bike, or you pop and then you like just put like a clean, there's like a clear plate that goes in. It's like all the drive engine and the battery is like all one piece.
Huh.
And then so you can have an analog or an e-bike. It's like, it's up to you how you want to ride it.
It's interesting.
And I was like, whoa, that is sick. Like, imagine mountain bike that way. Like, that would be awesome. Like, you could have the 30-pound enduro bike that you pedal, and then the days that you want to ride the e-bike, you like slam the battery in and boom.
This reminds me, do you know who Brendan Schaub is?
And the name sounds familiar.
He's like an MMA guy. He's also, well, he was, and now he's like a comedian.
Okay.
But he's not really big into mountain biking. And
that's the Thick Boy Club guy.
Yeah, Thick Boy mountain biking.
Right on.
I think he has an e-bike that he rides around in like around LA somewhere.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I was gonna get him on the show, actually.
Really?
Yeah. What is Richard Stickard has like a connection with him. I think he did stickers for him or something like that. Huh. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I could reach out to him. At the time, I was like, I had a bunch of other stuff going on. I need to reach back out to make that connection happen. That would be a fun one.
I mean, I have a Thick Boy Mountain Bike Club shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super big into comedy too. So I used to listen to like Fighter and the Kid, his podcast. Yeah. That'd be really cool. I'm really into that.
Yeah. I like that one. What's that one? Oh God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now on it. It's like the dude that has like the mullet, and then the other guy is like a fighter. Yeah. What's that podcast?
I forget what his is called.
Oh, it's so funny though. I listened the whole way to freaking Sedona one year. It's like a 12-hour trip, dude. I think we listened to it.
Who's on that with him? Do you know who that is?
I think the other guy's a fighter, I want to say.
Huh.
Because for some reason I felt like there was like or maybe that's how they got started. They were like guests on somebody else's podcast that was a fighter, and everybody always liked it. And then they started doing their own. Who is that?
I mean, Joe Rogan started that whole like transition from MMA into comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Rogan's freaking awesome. That's definitely good. I've had a few people tell me I'm the Rogan of mountain bike podcast. I'm like, dude, That's quite the compliment, man.
Yeah. He is the first big podcaster, actually.
Dude, he's definitely freaking killing it, right? Like that deal that he signed with Spotify. Yeah, that was like a no joke situation there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and he's been doing it for a long time. But
yeah,
I mean,
if you listen to him sometimes talk about it, I mean, he did it for a long time on like everybody thought he was crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, dude, he lives here now. He lives in Austin.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did move.
He and do you know who Tim Kennedy is?
That sounds familiar.
He's also an MMA guy, and now he's like he's like really big into the tactical shit. And they have a gun range at the ranch where at Reveille Peak. And Joe Rogan and Tim Kennedy go out there and shoot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's real crazy. That place is gonna blow up. I feel like it's like one of Texas's best kept secrets. Like I was talking about those jump lines earlier. They made a jump line that is like a big step up to a whale tail that's like literally 12 feet up in the air, like some rampage style shit. Yeah. And then they took a boat, they buried the boat partially in the dirt and made this like big rocket launcher, like wooden thing off of it. Mm-hmm. So you ride off the top of the boat, like they plated it in with wood, but they left the cockpit open. Mm-hmm. It's not so weird, but it's wild. You ride down the trail, ride off this boat, and launch out like 20 feet onto like a landing.
Oh wow!
So it's so crazy. That place is so cool.
Zach Turner helped me out here for those of you guys listening, and that care. It's called King and the Sting. Is that?
Oh yeah. Who's the other person though?
I don't know. Somebody tell us who the other guy is. But yeah, man, what's his name? Steve Y turned me on to that, and we listened to it like the whole road trip down.
It is. Brandon Schwab and Theo Vaughn.
Yeah. Okay. I knew I recognized that name.
You had Joe Coy on recently. It was hilarious.
Yeah. No, that one was pretty funny. They have this skit on there that was like flaunt your aunt is what they call it. Like, so you like send pictures of your aunt or somebody in your family in, and then they like basically like just get dirty with it, and it's hilarious. It's just so funny.
They call Theo. They call him the Rat King for some reason because he's just
they do. Yeah. It's
that's funny.
I don't know. When my friend told me about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a fighter guy and this comedian." And I was like, as soon as you say like fighter to me, I'm like, whatever, kind of roll my eyes. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, I'm so in right now. This is like hilarious.
I listen to Two Bears, One Cave all the time. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer.
Oh God. That would have to be fucking, yeah, that would be really funny. Cause I'm definitely a Kreischer fan and I've seen Segura and him together a few times. Did you watch that Bert Kreischer thing where he's like tries to go away on a retreat?
Oh yeah. So good. The cabin.
Oh yeah, dude. So I was crying. That was so funny.
But you know what stinks? Before COVID happened, do you watch the episode with Miss Pat?
Yes. I mean, I watched all of them.
Fucking hilarious. She's so funny.
Yeah.
I came here and I didn't get tickets to see her.
Oh man.
So bummed. Oh no, actually it probably got canceled because we got tickets to what's the redheaded comic book nerd comedian?
I'm not good with names.
Patton Oswalt. I forget his name, but we got tickets to see him instead. But I'm super big into all the like comedy podcasts. Like Rain and I bought tickets and went and met Christina P.
Oh yeah,
Laura's wife. Like did the meet and paid for the meet and greet and everything. It was super cool.
I would love to meet freaking Kreischer. I would love to like I beer with him, dude. It would be so fun.
I bet he's a shit show. I bet
it would be fun though. It's like one of those like freaking like train wrecks that you just don't even care. You're like, I'm getting on.
Well, that podcast that he's doing with Tom, they just got like I don't know who it is. It's not Corona Seltzer, but it's like one of like the big beer companies. And so they just sit there and drink these like seltzer waters or seltzer beers the whole time, or they'll sit there and they get Liquid Death and he'll just sit there and pound the Liquid Death, put it down, pick up another one. It's like, he's just ridiculous. He's over the top. And then he says something and then he goes, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but they don't edit it out. They just leave it in. So funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. That guy's freaking riot. Oh, somebody says Bill Burr too. Yeah, he's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess if you're a fan of the biker, then you're probably a fan of all these guys too, because they got that same kind of like a little bit over the top, a little bit edgy.
Well, I've seen both of them live. Like we went to Tom Segura's like Netflix taping was here.
Oh yeah,
and he just moved here too.
Oh wow.
And then I went to see Bert the year before.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He did this one. Oh man, this skit he does about have you
The Machine?
No, that one's good. I was gonna say Bill Burr. He does this skit about beating a woman. Have you ever heard that one?
Mm-mm.
He's like it's like, yeah, it's never like right to hit a woman, but, and then he's like giving all this like backstory about like all this stuff that his like lady did to him, and it's like innuendo, but it's so freaking funny, you know. And it's like in today's climate of, you know, Me Too and everything, it's definitely like extremely edgy, and I'm sure it probably triggers a bunch of freaking people, but the skit is hilarious.
Yeah, I used to listen to his podcast, the Monday Morning Podcast or whatever it's called, but he talks about football too much. I don't know anything about football.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I mean, I did a fantasy one year because I wanted to like get more into football, and it worked for like that year, but then like I couldn't like keep the faith like through the off season. So it was like the next year I signed up for the fantasy again, but then I like half-ass kind of did it. And now I like am still signing up because I feel like I can't stop, but I like pick my team like 10 seconds before, you know, I need to, like zero effort at all.
I've never, I mean, other than watching the league, I've never really done anything with drafts.
I tell you, if you do fantasy football, it actually makes it fun. Because all of a sudden, then you don't like, you watch it in a different way. And any game, almost you have like one or two players that are playing it. So you can like, you have a stake in the game almost all the time instead of just like rooting for your team. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was super fun. It's super fun to do. And I can totally understand how people get into it. It's also a time suck. You know, it's one of those things.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know how it is.
Setting your lineup, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Or whatever. I think you have to do it on like Wednesday. Because they have Thursday night games. So you have to have it set up by Thursday. Otherwise, like one of your teams could play or something like that, and then you wouldn't be able to have that guy.
I mean, I would probably just end up having like a whole bunch of players that are injured, not making me any points. Yeah,
right. Yeah. You can, yeah. We're gonna get into it. Don't take me down that rabbit hole. Oh man. So I just bought some new tires.
Oh yeah.
I got a aggressor on the back.
Lots of people are.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, man.
What's the other using a Recon too? People are starting to get hyped on the Recon, right?
Oh yeah, those are good. I have those on my front and back on my my hardtail. I really like that tire. I really do. What I was running before was the Assegai up front and then the Minion SS on the back. And that thing is awesome. But right now it's kind of getting it's wet around here. So it's like, it's good when it's dry, but it's not so good in the mucky because it's got barely any tread on it. But I was really digging that tire setup, but I don't know, man. Something about, I have the Assegai and the Aggressor on right now. And I feel like, I don't know if it's the tires or I broke one of my rims and I was waiting for it to get fixed. So on my Bronson, I was running 2.5s, but while my rim was getting fixed, I put my 2.8 rims on my Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm back to running 2.5s again because my rim came back. And so I'm like, is it the tires that I don't like, or is it that I'm not like, I have to get used to the smaller wheel again?
Yeah.
Cause there's like freaking uber grip on a 2.8, even when because I had like 2.8, but it's a plus tire though, you know? So it's like, I have that Recon on there. It's like a short tire, but it's got so much more like contact space that it's just grip for days. And I think that might be what I'm feeling. Like I have to get attributed to the 2.5.
Yeah. I'm still DH. It's funny. I used to be all about the Magic Marys. Like I used to love Schwalbe.
Yeah.
Magic Marys and other people that like Schwalbe who do the Hans Dampf or whatever.
I had some knobby nicks from them.
Oh yeah. And
yeah.
But I love them on my Santa Cruz. They're so grippy. I feel like I corner really well in them. But when I got my new bike, it came with the DHF and DHR too. So I was like, all right, I'll just stick with that. I mean, that's what literally like I'd say at least 60% of people that have like longer travel enduro mountain bikes use.
Yeah, I was actually considering buying that set again. Well, I need to give these tires a little bit more time because I know part of that is like the wheels feel thin to me, but I also feel like how fast they roll, and that's why I was running 2.5s before, because they take off. I mean, you still have good grip, but like you're gonna get a little less traction, but you're gonna be like moving like a bat out of hell,
Yeah.
So I think I just got to get reacquainted to it. Once that like muscle memory's back in the head, then it won't bother me again. But just immediately coming off of them onto the other ones, it's like, what? I like downsized, like gave up on a bunch of grip there. So
I've never run plus size tires.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is. Like, I remember whenever I first got my Bronson, I was waiting for my wheels to get built, my MVs. And I had those plus tires on it. And I almost just put the plus tires on the MVs because the MVs I have, you can go to 2.8 on. And it's just like so much grip. And especially for me, like being a big guy. But yeah, I definitely enjoy it. But I don't know. Tires are funny, man. Like it's really like, I feel like you either like love all your tires or you like completely hate the one that you're on.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, well, that one's okay, I might use it again. You know what I mean?
Have you this is completely off topic, but I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back to topic. Have you heard of Clubhouse? You're on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah. I don't use it. I like signed up so I could get in there and then I haven't used it.
Well, the one night it was like me, Joseph, Paul, Remy, and some guy, this guy from the bike industry. Frick, what? Now I feel like a jerk because I forget what bike company he worked for. There was a Colorado company, which not many. It's whoever does Sid and Mackie. What do they ride?
I think aren't they Pivot? No, they're not Pivot. They're they do the bottle cap. Niner.
Yes. It was a guy from Niner. And so we were just on there, like just talking about stuff. And Paul was just like telling me, he's like, what tire pressure do you run? And it was funny because I was listening to Alan and Josh talk on Alan's podcast. I was like, I don't know. Whatever tire pressure is in there, unless it looks flat when I sit on it, and then I pump it up. And he's like, oh, you should be running 23 to 25 PS. And I'm like, I don't know. I ride, and then if it feels messed up, then I put more air in it.
Yeah.
People really do geek out. And I mean, even like Remy was like, oh yeah, he was like super into his tire pressures. And he's like, I don't understand why everybody has cush core. And I was like, well, I had to buy 3 rims. And so I put it in, and Remy's like, I ride really aggressively and I never break my rims. And I was like, oh, damn it, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I think well, that's why I was bringing it back to tires, but Clubhouse is like really cool because there's so many random people on it from different areas that can all just talk and you can just listen. It's kind of cool.
I'll have to try it. Like I have the app on the phone and everything, and I just haven't it hasn't fit in the time schedule, Yeah.
Oh, here's Shane. He said Paul would freak out on you. Totally. I mean, I almost went that night when he was talking to me about it. I mean, because I feel like I barely know anything anyway. But
yeah,
I almost went. I forget who his tire people are. Is he Kenda?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I remember having a conversation with him about the Navigal, and he wasn't happy what I said. So
I almost went that night and bought Kenda tires because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something wrong, and I almost went and bought a pair. But you know what? I feel like whatever I'm doing is working for me now. I used to have like brace face rims, which I don't like at all, and I kept dinging. I had ARC 27s or whatever, and now I have ARC 30s, and they're fine. So far, I haven't jacked them up. So
yeah, I would go with a wider wheel, man. If you get to get like a 35 or something like that, it's just I really, really enjoy that, the way that it changes the tire. Yeah.
I mean, I have Super Boost, right? Does that matter? Is it the axle spacing that will allow you?
That doesn't matter on the width of the rim. So
well, I was thinking the farther apart your axle, the wider your axle is, probably the more clearance you had to have for a wider tire, right? Or is that not true?
I don't know. It sounds logical.
I don't know anything about bikes.
Yeah, no, it totally sounds logical to me. I don't know what the deal is. I think with Super Boost. Oh man, somebody explained this to me before. I think it had something to do with like how they can build the hub to make like the flanges stronger or something like that, so that it can make the wheel build stronger or something to that effect. Somebody on the comments will tell us in a minute.
Well, that makes sense because I case everything and I still haven't dented my rims. So
yeah. I really like I don't know what I was going to say, actually. I don't know where I was going with that, but it had something to do with what you had said earlier. But yeah, I don't know. The tire pressure, I am using like 28, maybe 30 on my rear, depending on where I'm riding at, because if it's like super rocky. But I use CushCore, but the reason I use CushCore is more for like, I like that sidewall stability, and then I can still have like a lower pressure. And my assumption is Remy's a pretty light guy, so for me, the CushCore makes a really big difference, like a huge difference.
Like a damper, kind of, right?
Yeah, they do that too. I mean, I have them on my hardtail for that reason, so it makes the ride a little nicer that way.
Or it's just like if you're riding at an angle, you're not going to get that like sidewall tear.
It doesn't matter the tear; it's the tire like rolling like over. Like think about it, if it was like really low pressure, let's just say, how it would roll. And like as a big guy, you can have a higher pressure to keep your tire from feeling that way because you have all this extra weight you're pushing into that wheel. So having the CushCore there lets you get the lower pressure, so your tires aren't all bouncy all over the place, but then you're still getting that stability on the cornering. Yeah. So as a lighter guy, it's just going to do the same thing. You know, it's just going to give you better sidewall, like kind of stability. And then they say it like dampens the ride a little bit. The only downside really is the weight in your wheels, you know? And so I think that's like really, it depends on like what kind of person you are. Like if you're a person that wants to really like get into science and how like, you know, 1 degree of geometry is going to make a difference, or 1/2 PSI, or, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if your wheels are heavier, they're going to be harder to pedal. But I mean, I also was carrying around 60 extra pounds of weight like a couple months ago. So like, there's other ways to lose weight on your bike. Dude,
by the way, how does it ever get old having people be like, what? You look so thin.
No, not yet. It's still not. Like, I still think I'm a fat guy. And this has happened to me before in my life whenever I went from being fat to skinny. And then I like make fat jokes and stuff like that. And people like now are like, you can see the look in some people's eyes that don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, why is he talking hella shit about fat people? It's like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like, you know, be a fat guy like me. And then they're like, that dude doesn't look fat.
Well, it's pretty crazy. Like I watch every single one of those, and I like the determination and like the changes you've made to make that happen is it's awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. It feels good, man. It feels good because I definitely have, a pretty like no fucks given kind of personality. But I would be a liar if that, when I weighed 300 pounds, that I looked in the mirror and was like, dude, seriously, come on, man. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you don't need to weigh like this,
I can even tell in the video, in like the riding portion of your videos, like
yeah,
how it's affected your riding. Like, well, I know that you're putting in tons more miles than you used to. I can tell that overall you're like way more comfortable on the bike.
Yeah. I think I would place a really solid argument that my level of fitness has more to do with how I'm riding and the amount of riding that I've done than like me being skinny. Like I feel like if I rode as much as I'm riding right now and still like ate all the crap that I wanted to eat so I didn't lose any weight, right? Yeah. I feel like I would still be like, I'd be crushing it right now too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like a month ago you did that waterfall feature, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That thing scared the shit out of me for a long time. You're talking about the one in Sedona?
Yeah.
Or in Phoenix? Yeah, that thing scared the crap out of me for so long, and I always felt like I could do it. But this is the thing, dude. I've been riding some really freaking janky shit out here lately, and we rolled up to it. I looked at it and was like, oh yeah, okay. Like the only reason that I had any fear in my mind when we were rolling up to it was because I knew that I was scared of it before. But as soon as I looked at it, I was like, oh, there's the line right there. I got up to the top. I was like, not even like everybody's talking. Like I just sat my bike. I was like getting ready to roll. And are you going? Yeah. I'm just gonna whoop right down. I was like, all right, cool. That was crazy. But yeah. It was cool. It was definitely. I had this conversation yesterday that people asked me, since you lost weight, is it more fun? And I always tell people like, no, it's not more fun. I'm just faster. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there is being 300 pounds and going down the trail and rolling around obstacles because they scare me and I don't have the skill set for them. I still was freaking stoked. I mean, look at my old videos. Like you can hear it in my voice. Like I was freaking stoked. I was having a good time. I do trails way differently now. And I'm like popping off of this and jumping off of that and like going way faster. I'm still freaking stoked when I get to the, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't change, but man, you could argue that, it's more fun. Like instead of coming up to being something and like slow rolling over this rock and being like, oh shit, okay, I'm not gonna die, and coming up to it and being like, guess we're doing a booter, whoop, and like I guess you could say that's more fun, but it's well,
I have to get you back here because there's
I'm ready.
A Spider has like 5 or 6 new trail. Like there's a bunch of new trails that are new.
I want to go ahead.
There's a bunch. There's like a bunch of blues that are new since you were here. There's a couple greens. Like, I think I want to chase you. I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to come get it. Like, there's some redemption that I have there. Remember that little thing that we like walked down? It was like a transition that went over to a road, like over like a little road, and then down into the trail again or something. Yeah. Like I know now, like I wouldn't even bat my eyes at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, dude, that thing irritated me that I couldn't do it that day.
Well, that was what I did when Eric and Yuka came, right? Isn't that the thing that I did?
Probably, yeah.
Like this sketchy turn, really steep and janky, and then there's like a little wooden thing.
I think maybe, yeah. It's like you come down this like rock. We were standing there like BSing, and some dude like came down and went over the bars exactly like we were afraid of.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't do it. Yeah. That, and I remember right at the beginning of the one trail, there was like a little rock drop that I like rolled, and I remember you like just shot off of it, and I was like, damn it, why can I not do that? You know?
Well, I mean, it's like your home trail, right? You do something 100 times too.
But still, dude, you know what I mean? It's like not like a bravado thing or something. It was just like, dude, I should do that. There's no reason I shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I just like, so yeah, that'd be, how is that? Is that place like, did they stay open during COVID? Or is it like only you and your buddy that you showed up with allowed on the lift or something? Or
no, you at first they don't want you being on the lift with people you didn't drive with.
Okay.
But they rerouted the line so they have more like space. It goes into the woods off to off the one side. And it comes up to the lifts that way, like, well, one, everyone's not congested right at the road. Do you remember how it was like right at the road? It actually like pulls a lot of that traffic away from the road. But it's still, I mean, I haven't seen a line out there for a little bit. We just went last week. And I don't really wear a gaiter. I mean, I lean over, they swipe my thing, and I back up. I'm wearing a full face. It's not really a cloth mask, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm like shooting the shit with the lift people.
Yeah. What full face are you wearing?
I got the 7 IDP one.
You like it?
Yeah. Well, I do. I still have that Cali. What is it? A Strike? No, Cali Shiva.
Oh, it's like a motorcycle almost, that helmet, right? It's like a real full face. Yeah.
But I still have that one.
Right.
I mean, that one I ate shit with so many times. I probably saved my brain.
Yeah.
But now I have the lightweight one. I don't know. It's some 7 IDP one.
Yeah, I got that Cali Invader one.
Yeah. It's
like a XC full face helmet. Dude, I love that thing. Like, it is so like, it's like exactly how like the owner, when he was telling me about it, when he was developing it, he's like, I want a helmet that's like an XC helmet. Like, that's not hot. That it just has like keep you from busting your teeth out, you know? And he definitely designed that. And the one that I have is the version 1. And I know you saw like on our Slack group, like a bunch of guys were talking about like the fit wasn't great. And I will agree that like it's not perfect on the V1. They just brought out the V2. They sent me one, and I'm such a priss that I didn't like the colors. And I was like, they were like, oh, this is the only one we had. I was like, you know what? I'll wait till you get the color I want, you know? Yeah. But they changed the inside. So it has like a dial retention system like you would on a half lid, but like it's
like a boa?
Like, yeah, like, you know, like a half lid helmet has like a little dial that like cinches, like, so it feels like fits perfectly. They have that inside of this full face. So it's, I think any of the fit issues are going to be gone. Like, they definitely like took the feedback that they got and made the update. So I really like that helmet though. Are you filming with Evo SS and a old camera, or are you doing like the new Hero 9 thing now?
Completely 9. I have a media mod. I have the wide lens. I haven't put anything on. To be honest, I haven't filmed anything with the GoPro in quite a while, in probably like a couple months. I just feel like, well, first of all, COVID kind of sucks for me. I don't know how you are, but like, especially with COVID, and I feel like even though I'm creatively motivated, I don't know. It's been a really shitty year.
Yeah.
But I mean, you and I talk about scripts, and I have so much funny shit written that I just haven't been able to execute on.
I feel like you should go. Remember that stuff that you sent? You had me film for you, so that we were going to do like a collab, but even though we were together.
Yes. Yeah.
We should do something with that footage, but like also have like the me now in it now. So you have like like me talking to like Fat Rob, talking to Eric.
So there's like 3 of us.
Yeah, dude.
That'll be really funny. I mean, you just asked me earlier, like I just canceled my Patreon. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to interact with people regardless. Like my patrons specifically, like most of them I've become friends with. So
Yeah.
I don't need a Patreon. Patreon just puts me on a hook for trying to like do extra work that I don't have time for anyway. So I just created like a Facebook group and I said, anyone that likes what I do can just talk to me there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm super accessible there. You don't have to give me shit. And like, you and I have talked about this before too, where like if I don't feel like I'm putting in the work to provide some value to people, like I'm just gonna feel guilt all the time.
Yeah.
So
I think because the way that I pay people on Patreon, that I feel like I'm just like, I don't really give a shit what extra content it is or whatever. Like I'm going to give you this money because I just want to like support you. I think because I feel that way, that I also feel that way about the people that support me then. Like, and I'm like, hey, I try to make sure I bring some value, but I don't stress on it. You know what I mean? Where like, I know you from the very beginning, like definitely would like, it was a stressor for you. And for me, it's like, hey man, I try to hook you guys up with some coupons. I try to do extra content where I can, throw some stickers in there, stuff like that. But like, dude, I spent like a couple grand on like buying all this merchandise, and I definitely am not recouping the money from it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I ended up doing. Like when COVID hit, and I was like, I felt so bad that I had already wasn't doing that many videos. I was more focusing on videos that I wanted to make instead of like, I'm going to do one a week. Cause even though I knew that was completely unrealistic. Yeah. So I just sent out like packs to everybody. I think I sent you one for sure. Yeah. And it had like tons of stickers in, it had magnets. It had like all the stupid shit that I randomly buy off a sticker mule because
I got your freaking buttons right here, dude.
3-inch pins, 1-inch pins, you know, whatever. What did I get in the mail the other day that I was like, I got keychains. Rain gets so mad because a sticker mule box will come and she's like, why? You don't even carry stickers in your lumbar pack. And I'm like, well, I forget them. And she's like, well, then why do you have all the stickers? I'm like, what is it? I got 50 for or whatever it is.
Dude, I tell you, I ordered some stuff from them a little bit ago. I got some packing tape from them so that I could have like the biker emblem on the boxes that I ship out.
Yeah.
And I will say this, their like marketing emails, I can see how you get stuck because they freaking send you stuff like all the time. And they're just like little teasers. It's like, hey, you could get 50 more stickers for like $9 instead of 40. So you're like, I can totally understand where you do that. Or it's like, hey, you can get this like whatever, you know, these buttons now. You get 500 of them for this much instead of how you would normally. And it's like it's kind of like the candy right by the cash register, you know, where it's just like, come on, it's not that much. Just go ahead.
Just this week, I almost bought 100 feet of packing tape for boxes that I never even send out. And like, I don't, but hey, it has my logo on it. This would be cool. That'd be really cool to have.
Dude, I love my packing tape though. I do love my packing tape. Yeah. My buddy though sells Moonlight. He does like packaging. So he's like, dude, send me the art file. I can get you like a case. I'm like, I just bought a roll of 100 feet. Like, I'm going to have that for months, dude. If I buy a case of packing tape from you, I was like, how much is that? And he's like, it's like 10 rolls. I'm like, yeah. And each roll is like, I think 300 feet. I'm like, dude, you'd have to use packing tape on my freaking coffin, dude.
You can just like candy stripe, like trail sign poles.
Right. But yeah, no, I can totally understand how you could fall into the sticker mule like campaign like that. There was something we were talking about right before that. What was I going to say? Oh, well, who knows?
It's about 3 people in a video.
Oh no, it was actually, it's on here on the screen because like someone's asking, are you chin mounting? Is that how you're doing your
yeah. So Alan turned me on to the Sugru, which I didn't even know what Sugru was.
Yeah.
Like it's this clay. It's like a Play-Doh and you comes in these little sealed packets, and you tear. Have you used it before?
No, but I've seen him talk about it. So go ahead and keep explaining it.
Awesome. So I just so my helmet is blue and black, or no? What is it? My helmet's green and black. I don't know. It's on my head.
I don't even know.
So you get this stuff and you put it on, and you take the GoPro mount and you put this plate on and form it, and then it gets hard like cement. And then I take an extra one and I put it like around the lip of the GoPro mount. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not only it's not going to get knocked like off, whatever to the side. It has like the little bit of that, like that's like gripping around the thing. But dude, it's great. That's what I don't have to deal with annoying zip ties. I don't have to. It's just always on.
Yeah, I took a GoPro mount and like cut it up with a Dremel and like drilled some kind of holes in it and like basically zip tied a GoPro mount to the chin bar. But the way that the chin bar on my helmet is like, it's very open. It's kind of like the Fox Pro frame. A lot of people know what those look like. So it's like, it was really easy to do, but that stuff sounds fun. I might buy some just to like play with it because it sounds fun.
I like it. I actually just bought it's not called the Chesty anymore. The new GoPro like chest mount.
That's funny you mentioned that.
Just because I don't want to wear a full face all the time. Like,
yeah, me neither. So this is what I got in the mail last week. I have freaking problems too. You guys on Patreon, you're supplying this addiction. So I got they do actually still call it the Chesty. Because somebody was telling me that this is better than the Stuntman now. And the Stuntman was the way to go with the Evo SS and the Hero 4. At least I thought it was. So they say this works better. I'll try that. And then I also got the Max lens mod.
Yep, me too.
I haven't tried that yet. Obviously, it's still in the box. And then I also got the media mod because I was saying to some people that I noticed on the chin mount, you can really hear me breathing. I don't know if I'm a heavy breather or what, because I know even whenever I ran the Evo SS, the gimbal, and I used to put my GoPro on that upside down so that the mic pointed down, so it would catch more of the ground and less of me breathing, because I used to hear a lot of breathing then too. So maybe I'm just a heavy breather and like a mouth breather, I guess.
Everybody is. Well, freaking camera's right at your mouth. Like, how are you not going to capture that? So
somebody said the media mod helps with that. Do you use the media mod?
Yes, but I mean, it's on my camera. I have both of that and the lens mod, but I haven't recorded anything, so I couldn't tell you how the performance is.
There you go, right?
But the media mod though also allows you to like plug
a mic, I think, if you
want, right?
Yeah. I need to. I've been honestly, I haven't been recording a lot for videos either. Most of the stuff I've been using is like sit in the garage stuff, or like, because a bunch of my last videos were all the weight loss stuff, so it was like more vloggy, you know. And then it would be like a couple clips here and there, you know. And usually when it'd be clips, it'd be like B-roll, kind of like ride by, or I'm holding the Osmo while I'm talking and riding, or you know what I mean. And so I've been using this time to try to get them like familiar with the Hero 9 as well. And man, it's like I feel like I'm like starting all over again. You know, like with the gimbal, you don't, you know, you set that camera angle and then you don't think about it, right? So like whenever you're talking to somebody, you just remember to like move your shoulders, right? But like with that 9, if you're wearing it on your chest, you have it angled so when you're riding, so that you can capture your shot right. So
when you get off the bike, you're looking at
you have to remember to point it down like flat, so that you're actually like capturing people, you know. It's just like little stuff like that where it's like completely forgot. And then like I was setting my camera angle by like eyeballing it, like, oh yeah, this looks good. And then I would go home and like look at the footage like a retard. And then I would get home and be like, oh, the angle's not good. And I am not lying to you. I probably took that thing on at like 5 or 6 rides and got home and was not happy with the angle before it like dawned on me, you know, you can use the app to see where the camera's pointing before you actually. I'm like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, you're a complete idiot.
I would say that like Well, first, I'm kind of nervous about going to just wearing the chesty again, just because I'm afraid that the same thing's going to happen. But like most of my upcoming videos that I'm like working on are all scripted anyway, so I'm not going to. There might be some like first person footage in it, but for the most part, it's all going to be me talking, which sucks because those videos take so much more work to make.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine like your how to be a YouTuber one. Like how much work did you put in that? It's probably a shit ton.
Yeah, it was a ton. That was like my favorite video to make, and it definitely like tanked. It didn't tank, but it didn't do as I thought. Like when you do come up with an idea, you're like, this is the one that's going to go viral.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 1.6 billion views on this one. I thought
my Zwift one was going to do that. I
spent
so much time green screening and going through nothing. Yeah. I think like right out the gate, that video was like performing like 25% of what I would normally get. And it was like, I know it's probably a thumbnail. But if you're proud of it and you like it, then that's what matters. Like that's kind of what I've taken away. Like I've kind of like every now and then, like I hopped in some like YouTube Clubhouse rooms, or I'll like randomly like say something, and every time everybody's feedback is, well, you need to make more videos and you need to make more videos more often. And I'm like, nah, I just don't have time. I just can't do it. I can't for the life of me say I'm going to give up time with my family unit, to like make videos, or I can't for the life of me be like, I'm going to let my job slide a little bit. I just can't do it. So
I feel like the 1 a month thing for me is like been perfect. Yeah. Like I need to at least hold myself to that because it's so easy to procrastinate and be like, oh shit, 3 months went by. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I'm doing 1 a month and I'm still like doing it in the same editing and time. It's like, oh shit, I got 1 week left. Now I'm going to like get to it and I do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're giving yourself that, like, it's like having a runway, right?
Yeah. So, and I am a natural born procrastinator. So like, there is absolutely I definitely will procrastinate, Me
too.
But I feel like the once a month is like, it's perfect amount of time to like still be functioning as a family member and a partner and, a friend and do all these other things and then still have a channel. I mean, I'm doing this every Sunday too. So it's like, there's still, I'm putting plenty of content out there, but that's why I was saying the Patreon videos have been really fun because I feel like they're so easy to do. Like I can go do a ride and like, because I'm so much more efficient at editing now, I can turn that into like a 15-minute video in like no time. If I'm not doing B-roll and I'm not putting music on there, I'm just like cutting up the fun stuff and making it a video.
Yeah.
And then I can publish that to Patreon. And then I know like that's not going to affect my Patreon or not my YouTube analytics. And it's not going to, I don't have to worry about the I make a thumbnail, but it's like, I put like the tiniest bit of effort into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, there's a cool screen capture. Boom. Throw some text up there, go pro settings test, and boom, it's there.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun. It's been, I would urge you even to consider trying doing it for like, maybe just like your Facebook group or something like that and do like an unlisted video. And, cause you're like, you'd be amazed. Cause you're like, dude, the more that we learn about editing, the longer that we do this, all it does is add time to how long it takes you to make an edit.
Yes. Well, it's funny because the other week, like when the Shane and BKXC funny thing was and I was like, dude, I can do something funny real quick for this. So I like threw together a fake political ad video at like a minute long, and it took like 2-3 hours. Thanks. And I just like dropped it. But like then I have these like crazy ideas, like the one I sent to you, which will be my next one, where I'm fucking rotoscoping, taking everything out of my like lumbar pack And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, yeah, it's funny, but like, do I really need to spend 20 hours adding control points and like having me take an air fryer and like all these things out of my lumbar pack? Like, for a gag, is it really worth it? But
there's moments when you're editing, you're like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this for like 10 seconds of a video?
Yeah.
Like when I did my chair space ad in that how to be a YouTuber, I think that was in that video.
Yeah.
Where I was pretending like, because everybody's like sponsored by Squarespace, right? So I was like, oh, that'd be funny to have like some play on words on it. So I'm like, I spend like, 30 minutes trying to find a website that has the content on it that I'm looking for. Then I'm like, okay, because I'm a freaking idiot. Like I spend another hour and a half building a logo. I'm like, no, I don't like that. Oh no, it has to have some chairs in it. It's like 3 hours for freaking like 10 seconds of a video. It's like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. This is why I'm not doing a video a week.
Well, I mean, I feel like my next couple scripts that I've written are like bangers. Like they're I'm not going to spoil them, but I like actually went through and wrote out. And then, so what'll happen is, as if I write a script and I'm like, ooh, I really think this would like punch it. Like this would be a perfect shot for that. So I'll go and I'll record the voiceover for my script.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go back. I'm trying to do like the Seth method, right? Where like I write the script, record the voiceover, and then shot plan and figure out what goes into the space over top of the talking.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, there's no fucking, like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get a shot of that thing? That's not realistic. I mean, even like my next one, I talk about like dog poop bags on the trail. And I'm like, well, now I got to go. First off, I either got to shit in a bag and do it myself, or randomly go out and find a bag of dog poop, which shouldn't be too hard. But even though, like, am I going to go take a ride and take like a couple hours of my life just to get a shot of a dog poop bag?
Dude, in that same video, I wanted my dog pooping. Like, I can't remember what the part of it was. It was something about like, oh, like everybody loves cats in video. Like the internet loves cats, but I have a dog, and I thought it would be funny to like get my dog pooping. I was chasing him around with that fucking Osmo for like 2 weeks, and I could only get him like taking a leak, and it was like finally I just gave up. I'm like, because every time I'd like, we'd be like, because we have like a little fire pit in the backyard and there's a certain part of the yard he always poops in. So I'm like, every time we'd be sitting there hanging out at the fire pit drinking beers, it'd be like he'd start pooping. I'd be like, oh, I need the camera, to go. And then it's like, then by the time I get back, he's
tell you next time,
right? I'm like, can you ring like a poop bell or something? Let me know. You're like, yeah. So I totally feel you there. Hey, you could probably buy like brown Play-Doh and just stick it in dog poop bags.
That's not a bad idea.
Like,
but I've already exceeded the budget for this video. That's going to make me maybe $5.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I already bought a hazmat suit. Okay. So let's not add it.
They do sell on Amazon fake poop as well.
That's
because I used to, one of my coworkers, every time he said something, I used to tell him I was going to poop on his car all the time. And so whenever I left that place, I bought some fake poop and I put it on his car. So that way, whenever he came out, like at the end of the day, there was like a big turd on his hood. It was fabulous. And it looked really real. So
maybe that's a good idea. Or maybe I just freaking buy some like little Milky Way bars and put them in a bag.
Yeah.
Either way,
probably even easier.
Either way, it will take me an extra week or two just to get that shot, because that's what I've envisioned in my head already. And I won't divert from it.
Yeah. I know. I 100% know where you're going with that. Yeah, those videos are fun though. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like when you get, I don't know about you, but me, I love watching my old videos. And, we kind of kick it in my garage and drink beers. It's like kind of like the man cave. And some point in the night, we'll always end up watching like one of the old ones. It's like, it's just like part of it. Cause it's like always my buddies. It's like, it's a document of our life,
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll be talking and be like, dude, you remember that ride? And we'll like put it on and, so, those are always, there's certain ones
You
though that I like.
also get like, do you have like it's like if I watch an old video, I simultaneously reminisce and also I'm like, oh God, I made that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you like, you see your flaws in your past videos, but you're also like sentimental about it.
Oh yeah, dude. I was talking to somebody on one of these podcasts about going back to old footage and seeing how I could re-edit the same video now. Like, what would be the story that I could tell now with this same footage? But I'd have to add like B-roll. Because the way that I edit now, you know, but to be able to use the ride and then add in the B-roll and the voiceover and the stuff that I do now with the same footage and see how it turned out. I don't know. I just felt like it would be a fun one. Remember that video? I'm sure you remember that Trails to Fails video that I did where it was like me and my son went out and I like lost him and then I fell in the poison oak and like it was a really funny video at the time. But I watch it now and it definitely doesn't hit as hard as it did back then, you know? So
then you feel like there's a bunch of things that you would have like spiced it up with, right?
Or I could, you know what I mean? Or just make the whole story better, like a little more drama. I didn't use music then, and like, you know, just all the little like little touches that we do now. Like I probably didn't color correct it at all, you know, like all kinds of things, you know.
It's funny because I feel like once I started, I mean, obviously we all went ham once we discovered Epidemic or whatever you use, Artlist.
Yeah.
I feel like on Epidemic or wherever you get your songs from,
I use Epidemic too.
If you can find the right song for what you want to do, you're like, this is perfect. And sometimes it's almost like serendipitous where you like have a bunch of clips, you put the song behind it, and sometimes it just lines up perfectly with like the song, and you're like, oh my God, how did that magically like it's like divine how it just like matched up and happened.
The funniest thing just happened there. Like before you got to that part of your story, that's what I was going to tell you was like how good it feels when somehow it's like that song ends exactly at the right spot where like whatever happened. And then it's like you wanted no audio and it just like you get the like the diminishing sound of however they ended the song. And then it's like whatever you said and you're like, what? This is amazing.
Yeah, or like somehow it like cuts to like a little like break in the song right as you're like talking in the video, and you're like, who wrote this?
Right. It's like you feel like you're like cheating the Matrix or something, man.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. It was definitely it's definitely fun. I think, you know, for a long time, I didn't want to use music because it was like, I think it was because like bike videos before we got into the POV game were like just some guy riding with like heavy metal in the background, like way too loud. So I think that we all had this like, you can't use music kind of feeling because of that. You know, you had to have this trail sound or you can't have, and somewhere along the line, I started using it again. And I was like, this just adds so much. Like, it doesn't always have to be there.
I feel like the marketing, like in our head, we're thinking if we put genre X behind it, we're going to alienate a group of people, right? Like people that don't like that. Like I could throw like country behind my riding. But I think as long as the music matches the mood of what you're doing, it's not going to turn anybody off, right? Riding crazy gnarly and you have like a faster song behind it. Chances are that people that don't even like, if it was like some like crazy dubstep techno song, if what you're doing is cool and the mood of the music matches that footage, people aren't going to stop. They'll be like, oh, I don't like the song. It's just not, I feel like it's like storytelling. You're telling a story, and as long as the story matches what's happening in the music matches what's happening in the story, they're not going to bail out just because you chose a specific beat or type of music or whatever.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely I struggle with that though too. You know what I mean? Like sometimes country music is really good. I'll think about that. Like, is somebody not going to like that? Or I'll put like a hip hop song or like a little jazz or some, it's like you're like, is this not going to work? Like how, but I think you made a really good point there, dude. As long as the feeling is right. I'll tell you though, that's a time suck though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about, how like you make your edits longer. Like sometimes I could spend over an hour just looking for a freaking song.
Yeah.
For one song. And then I'll edit my video to it and get to a certain point in the video of editing. And I'll be like, this song's just not working. It's not. Like I like the song, but it's not working for this. And then it's like, boom, now you got to go find a new song. And then the new song, now you have to re-edit your like transition points because maybe the beat isn't right or it's like, oh my God.
Well, it's funny because we all have our own like little flair to it too. Like, I don't know if you've ever noticed that with people. With
the music?
I use a bunch of like hip hop beats, like weird experimental hip hop beats from I'll notice like Ryan Lone Ranger uses a bunch of like, I forget the name of the.
It's kind of like ambient trance techno kind of house.
It's like 80s ish. Whatever. Yeah. Joseph uses a lot of future bass. He uses that genre. Like I notice BCPOV uses a lot of acoustic guitar. I
use a lot of acoustic folk group kind of stuff too.
Yeah, like Seth and Bobo, they use like the I forget the name of the genre on Epidemic, Badly Played.
Oh, really? I have to look for that.
Like kind of
quirky
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone falls into their like little category of what they like and what them as a person, not just the footage.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I always struggle with getting the volume right. Like sometimes like you have the music too light, but then you listen on a different device and it's like perfect. Like I stopped editing with my Bose headphones because I would have my audio settings set for those noise canceling headphones and it would sound pristine. And then I would come out to my garage and watch the video on my TV and I would be like, this is awful. Like it doesn't sound good at all.
I either use my laptop speakers or I have these like pretty low end. They're still Sennheisers, but they're like pretty low end, just Sennheiser headphones that aren't going to cancel a lot of noise. So that way I can kind of like guess what it's going to sound like in really nice headphones, but also not over audio engineer because I think it's I'm making it for like really nice headphones. Like, if I'm listening to it out of my laptop speakers, I know it can't sound that good.
Yeah. I still struggle with just getting the levels right. It'll be like my voiceover will be too loud compared to my music, or my music will be too loud. My voiceover won't be loud enough, or trying to get them to like the audio in between clips to work, or to be the same. Or sometimes too, it'll be like, I don't do all the voiceover the same day. You know what I mean? So somehow like, I don't know what, my mic sounds different. I didn't have it exactly at the same spot in my mouth the next day. And then it's like, this one sounds more tinny than that one sounded more bassy. And it's like, oh my God, dude.
I can't do that. I'll re-record the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather re-record the whole thing before I just can't do that. And I
do my edit like piece by piece.
Do you use Audacity too?
What's that?
Audacity is like a audio, I don't know, audio optimization.
No, I don't use that.
You record, you take whatever you can even take your video and drop in an Audacity, and then you do a bunch of things like bass boost, treble boost, normalize, cut the peaks.
Just ruined my life, dude. Now I'm gonna do that too.
Well, I mean, the video. I have a bookmarked video that every time I record a voiceover or every time I'm trying to like toy with the audio, I do the same thing every time.
Okay.
I'll send you the link, but it's pretty great. It actually like took me from sounding like some jagoff talking in my laptop to like, oh, I sound like Seth or like somebody that's has really crisp, deep sound.
I think my voice is bassy enough, so I think I can get away with it without having to mess with it, because I just get in deep, you know. And
well, you do a bass boost and a treble boost. That's what you do, and then you normalize it.
Yeah, right. Holy shit! Thanks for adding another 2 hours to my edit, Eric.
Sorry.
That's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's just the amount of time that goes into it. So it's definitely not
so much if you think about it. Like we do it because we love it. We do it not for a living, but because we really love it.
Yeah.
Right. And we love making something. It's our creative like outlet. And so I think about that a lot. You know, I'm not going to overdo something until it's perfect, because obviously it's not perfect, or else more people will be watching it.
Right.
But,
yeah. We would have actually big followings.
You do it. I don't know. It is like a labor of love, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say that neither you or I would ever be doing it full time unless we're already independently wealthy or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, according to Social Blade, my podcast channel will be like bigger than my regular channel in like a couple of years.
Dang. Yeah, I always hate that. And it's like in 1,080 days, and you're like, shut up, I don't care. I might be dead by then, okay? Thanks.
Right? But I was looking at it the other day. I'm like, oh man, I hate that thing, because I'm always angry with it. I'm like, that's not true. I'm gonna have more than that. And then I'm like, that time goes by and I'm not even at where they said, and I'm like, damn you.
And you're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna have this one. It's like a drug addict, right? I'm gonna have this video, and it's really gonna pop. And then
that's the one. That's the thing. I feel like that's the thing. And like, have you had one that's gone like viral or like close to it, or?
Oh yeah, I've had one. I've had one. Well, I had two. I had one that Seth shared, where I was at Angel Fire and I wrecked, and I like made it super overly dramatic intentionally, and he shared it on his freaking community page, not even like actually shared it somewhere, and it like crazy. And then I had one.
How many views did it get?
Like 70,000.
Oh wow, yeah, that's huge.
Which is a lot for me. That's like insane.
Yeah, I think my biggest one is like 30 or something like that. So like, that's huge. And
then I did the one where I just did the bike check, and it was just enough because I said like one hand, one bike check or something like that. I'm always, it sucks. It's been 20 years since Two Girls, One Cup, and I reference it all the time.
That's awesome.
I did it when I had Rain ride all those demo bikes. It was like 5 bikes, 1 mountain or something like that.
Yeah.
All the time, kind of intentionally, but unintentionally. but my bike check video had like 180,000 views or something, and I was like, "What?" When you're watching it happen, you're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Right?
It's so
you're like going into work, fuck you, you're cool.
Yeah. but then what happens is Social Blade gives you a new prediction for your numbers, and you're like, "There's no fun. I'm not gonna hit that."
Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, dude, it would be nice, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't want to be like, I think I would really enjoy being a full-time doing this podcast and being able to like really do it, because I really enjoy these, and it's not all the editing, and I think it would be really fun to get to a point where I could be getting some sponsorship deals and like getting people to come here, like actually like have like, like how Rogan does, like have like, hey, Eric, you want to come out and fly you out, dude? And we can ride bikes this weekend and you can be on the show, and like that would be sick. Yeah. But that's a long way to go.
Well, I think about the same thing. Like what and I kind of like write my videos to be like that. Like what video would I make if I had unlimited time and money?
Yeah.
So like I just think of crazy off the wall shit.
Yeah.
And then I write a script around it, and then I usually don't film it. Well, I mean, I have a big line of them, but like the reality of it is like to execute on a harebrained idea, it takes a lot of work. And I know that even though creatively my mind's in it, like realistically, I'm not going to be able to do it right now. Like I'm working like 40 to 45 hours a week easily at my main job.
Yeah.
You know, I have like Rain, her kid, I have my kid. Like I've just got so much shit going on all the time. Like,
yeah.
Life is literally about sacrifices, right? And whenever you do one thing, you're always sacrificing like 3 other things. So
I'm fortunate. Go ahead. I'm fortunate in the spot where I'm at right now, or like I had kids really young because I wanted to be the age that I am now and them be moving out. Like I honestly 100% like had that goal whenever I had my kids young.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in that spot where I'm like, dude, I'm 44 this year. I think 44. You know, my daughter's she's leaving for college. Like it's just me and the lady. Like,
what are you going to do next year? That's the real question.
Right. You know, and it's like, I mean, and Katie and I do a lot of things together, but we also have, we're very independent in ourselves as well. You know what I mean? Like she can be like, yeah, I'm going to go down to my friend's house. We're going to, you know, go wine tasting and shoot some golf or whatever the hell they do. You know, like they do stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to Tahoe. I'll see you tomorrow. You know, we're going to go ride bikes with so-and-so and get drunk in the woods.
Yeah.
You know, like, but, so I think the point of saying that was that, you know, I definitely have a lot more time than anybody raising a family, you know, like, and it's been, you know, gradually getting that way over the years. You know, when my son and my daughter were both, by the time they're in high school, like your kids they're at the house, they're not a lot of
they don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Especially once they start driving, you know, because then they don't need you to take them anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't need to go take them anywhere anymore. So you don't need to go like, hey, I'm taking you to softball practice. No, drive yourself. See you later. You know, like,
yeah.
So that like, it's definitely interesting, you know, and I feel like my plan's working out, you know, financially. That was my idea, was have kids young. And now that, you know, I'm at a way different spot in my career, like at this point, like I'll be able to afford to like travel and go places and actually like enjoy them, instead of like the traveling that I did in my 20s. Like when I lived in Germany, when I was in the military, like we went places. I went a lot of really cool places, but what I mostly did was go to the bar, get drunk, try to get laid, and wake up hungover and then do it again the next day. But I'd be like, yeah, dude, we went to Paris. You know, what'd you do in Paris? Well, we went to the Louvre. The line was really long, so we bought a postcard of Mona Lisa and took provocative pictures with her all over town. You know, like,
yeah.
Where like now I'd be like, okay, I'm going to Paris. I'm actually going to stand in line so I could go to the Louvre and actually see the artwork in there and appreciate it.
Well, we talk about that all the time. Like we got 6 years and 9 years.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's see. We do the math and we're like, okay, I will be 49. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's not bad though, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I know guys that are like my age right now, like just now having kids. And I'm like, dude, you're going to be like 60, dude.
You imagine retiring from your job and having a child that's still in high school. I can't even.
Yeah. I mean, and teach their own, you know what I mean? Like they definitely got to like have the fun when they were young, and like, you know, they went and did all that stuff, you know? So like there's trade-offs, you know, there's definitely trade-offs, but
we call them dinks. They got to be dinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that term?
Dink? Is that D-I-N-K is what you're saying?
Yeah. Double income, no kids.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
And that so we're about to do that. Crazy, but then if they do have kids, they're until their 60s.
Yeah. If I could talk Katie into moving into a van for like a year, I would be really happy.
Yeah.
She's just not having it. So
I think Rain would do it in a heartbeat for sure.
Yeah. I think I just need to pull the trigger and do it. I feel like if I have the van, she'll be in. But for me to like talk to her about getting the van, she's like, it's such a waste of money. You could buy, you know, you're going to spend $40,000 on the van. You're going to spend another $25,000 building it out. That's a lot of hotel rooms. And I'm like, she's right. She's really right. That is a lot of hotel rooms. A whole lot.
Yeah. Well, Rain and I talk about buying a Suburban and a camper, a better camper.
Yeah. I keep trying to get myself around like full circle to like, I want to maybe just buy a camper shell for my truck and try to build like a little, like a mini getaway vehicle in the back of that and see how much I really use it.
Yeah.
Because that'll only cost me like, let's just say $2 or $3 grand total, like buy the topper, whatever I need to do. And then see if I actually use it, because that's the other end is like, I'm banking on, I'm gonna buy the van. And because I have the van, that's going to make me go do things.
Yeah.
But what if I have the van and I'm still like, well,
well, I'm envisioning you just beating the crowd and actually buying like some real sketch 80s, like Winnebago type.
There you go. That'd be crazy.
With like a bed over the cab.
Yeah.
You remember those? Like
the one that freaking Uncle, what's his name, parked in the driveway at
yes,
like a Christmas Vacation, right?
Yeah. Yep. Share's full.
Yeah, that's too good. Yeah, dude, have you watched the Shreddis? Do you watch his channel?
Not lately, no.
He's got like a 1990 something like Astro van that he's been like doing a van build on. Oh my god.
Is it like jacked up?
Like, he lifted it and like, oh dude.
Those.
The like frugal cheap guy in me like loves the idea of it. However, like the last video he like put in new like 4-wheel drive stuff, and I was like, you have totally exceeded what I would ever mechanically do, but I can't stop watching this because it's like, I just love it. I don't know why, but I love it. I can see how people get sucked into like channels like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all of our friends that did the van builds, like I watched them all.
Yeah,
I'll probably never have a van, but I still watch them all just because it's super intriguing. I mean, have you ever watched that dude Johnny? That's friends with like Seth and Alex.
I've never watched his actual channel. No, I mean, I've just watched the stuff that they've done with him, like the collab stuff. But
yeah,
like what's he do over there?
Or have you ever watched the other Seth, B1KER Trail Builds?
I've watched. Oh, last week I think is the first time I actually started watching it. Like I've always seen like clips and been like, oh, that looks interesting. I'll check that out later. And then 6 months go by, and the other day one of them finally got me to click, and then god, I was glued.
How does
he like didn't use any nails either? Whatever he was building. Does he do that on all of them?
No, that's his kind of like he's been doing that lately, where he builds like a kicker ramp without like all by hand, no power tools. And I'm like, what? How? Where he makes wood pegs and bangs them in a little.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. Like I can't build things like that. So
he deserves to have 1 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of work that he's putting into like what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like his edits too, like
good. He writes his own music too.
What? Dude, that guy just does it all.
Yeah, if you hear like indie rock in the background, it's usually
I'm deleting my channel. It's over. We apparently are doing this wrong.
Than us, so there's that too.
He what?
He's like 20 years younger than us, probably.
Son of a gun.
He's really cool though. I really like his videos.
Yeah, no, they're super. I definitely like. I fell into that one the other day. I'm like, this could be a problem. I have 2 meetings to get to and X, Y, and Z to do. I need to close this tab now because I'm about to like blow everything off for the rest of the day and watch this guy build stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny. Are you pressed for time? You got to go?
I have to. He might have put himself to bed.
Uh-oh. It's been over 2 hours, dude. It's so easy to talk to you, man.
I know. I feel like, and it's always, we were talking about that the other day, how like you have certain friends where you can just talk forever and it's like no time has passed, right?
Yeah.
So no gap.
When you agreed to come on the show, I was like super excited because we haven't talked in a while. Mm-hmm. And it was making me think this week while I was riding. I was like, man, COVID's like wrapping up. Like, hopefully, those of you guys that don't know, like the company I work for, their like main offices in Texas, sort of close to where Eric's at. So I was able to like fly down there for work stuff, and then I could pop over and see Eric. And it was like we were gonna like be able to hang out all the time, and then it was like, boom, COVID happened, and it was like, oh, wah, wah, wah. So I was looking forward to being able to come back down there, see you guys. I mean,
hopefully soon.
I mean, I was with you when you first met Rain.
Yeah, you want to tell that story about how you're the best wingman?
I don't even. What did I do?
I don't know. We just if whatever reason the weekend after I met Rain, you just happened to be coming to town.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I'm going to go out and we're going to get some beers and blood. And she came out and met us. And
yeah.
That's like, really weird. That's really funny.
Yeah. She probably locked you. That's how you locked it in. You're like, look, I just hang out with YouTubers. They fly across the country, hang out with me. Like,
oh, she didn't care. She didn't even watch it. She hadn't watched a single one of my videos.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that way. Does she watch your videos when you make them? Or do you have to ask her to watch them?
I ask for feedback. So here's what happened. I would make a video, start to finish, make something super polished that I liked. And I'd say, what do you think about this? And then I'd get feedback like, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. And I'm like, frick, maybe I need to ask sooner. So then I asked, but you know what I'm saying? Like no matter how, it's almost like I need to edit with her. Like I need to involve her more because that way I feel like they would come out better if I involve her more. But yeah, I have to be like, here it is. Look here. Let's watch it on the YouTube app on the TV. And she's like, oh, it's out. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, not that she's like super critical, but she's always like willing to give feedback. But if I ask for feedback after I published it, it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Katie, I don't feel like she watched any of my videos until I told everybody that we know that she doesn't watch my videos. And I think then she started watching my videos just so she could be like, no, I watch them. Like, so now I'll usually, I feel like she really watches them whenever I like prompt her though. But otherwise, I don't know if it's really in her.
She rides road bike?
She rides more road. She does ride mountain though too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Has she ridden with you when you've been recording?
I don't, not much. A couple of times, but probably not like when I'm like really shooting. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know it's not like, it's not her thing to be on the videos. You know what I mean? So she doesn't really like.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, so I it's funny because I think about like everybody else that does it, and I think about like we like to have like we call them sacred moments, like moments where we might be out riding and we might be in a beautiful place that I might be making a video about, but we like to have sacred moments where I'm not on, so to speak.
Yeah.
Sense?
Yeah. I get it.
Where we're just doing something cool and I'm not archiving it, or I'm not like, you know. And I think that's a super cool balance. Like it's a hard balance to find. And what I try to do is if we ever go on a trip, like we just canceled our trips to Sedona, but I come up with an idea before we leave. So that way it's not on all the time. I can kind of hone in on when the camera will be on.
Yeah.
And that seems to work out pretty well.
I think the other thing too is now that my schedule is my shooting schedule is like where I'm trying to do a video a month. It gives us a lot of rides that we can go on and I don't have to be filming. Like when I first started the channel, it was like I was doing at least 1 to 2 videos a week for a long time. And those were the only 2 days that I was riding. So if you were riding with me, I was filming. So anyways, man, I know it's getting late over there.
Yeah, sorry, I just told.
Super appreciate you getting on the channel on the show with me, man. Any YouTube channels you've been watching a lot lately before we go?
I've been watching a lot of BCPOV. I always watch his stuff.
His build videos are good.
I usually watch all of Seth's things. I've been watching a lot of Brian. I think Brian is fucking on to something.
I think his lady's helping him with the filming, so he's getting a lot of like that extra camera shot.
I want to see him get a travel show. Can someone give him a travel show, please?
Yeah, right.
I think between like now he's got to figure it out where like instead of just being in a place for 3 days, if he's there for like 2 weeks to a month, everything, it can be super high, So I'm excited to see what he's in Bentonville right now. I'm excited to see what comes out of that because that's one of my favorite places.
Yeah,
and
I know. That's good. I've been watching that Bentonville one actually, and I come and go on his channel. Sometimes I don't watch it, and it's definitely that little series has caught me. So I agree with you. He's definitely doing a good job.
I like the new dynamic that he has. And then one channel, what is it called? I think I've told you about it before. The guy who does all the video tips, like how to cut like commercials and stuff. I forget his name. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
The guy's name, but I watch him all the time. He just
bring up your YouTube right now. Open another tab.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm scrolling.
There you go.
Daniel Schiffer.
Oh, okay. He's the one that you're getting all the time on.
He's just like how to film a pizza commercial, like just like craziest niche stuff.
Oh, cool.
And he like talks about how he cuts and like cool little like editing techniques that he uses, and so
you have to send me his name on Slack or something like that so I can look it up because that does sound interesting.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's Monday. I won't want to work much, so it sounds like a good idea.
I think we're gonna take a half day tomorrow because once I drop him off at school, I'll work for a little bit, and then Rain rented a Ripmo this weekend, or not rented, like demoed one. So we got to take it back. So we're like, well, why don't we just on the way back to the shop stop and get in one last ride? Like,
there you go.
We might take a half day. Also, I don't know how much vacation you get, but I realized last year I barely took any vacation.
Yeah. I like lost a lot of vacation when I switched jobs. So I used to have like my old job. I had like almost 4 weeks a year. I had 4 weeks a year. And then they did this thing where you could like buy an extra week too. So like now I'm like, the new guy, like you get like 2 weeks and that's it, and so, but I think next year I hit 3 years at this place. So it's like, I get a bump or something like that. But
yeah, I got 5 weeks. So like what?
Yeah, that's nice.
It's April. Like for next week is April and I haven't done anything. So I need to start taking days.
Yeah. I got a bunch of stuff planned this year though. So it's going to be fun. So right on, man. Well, thanks again for being on the show, dude. I'm super stoked that you were here. Always have a great time chatting. I can't wait till the next time that we get hang out in person. I definitely want to get back over to Spider Mountain. I want to check out that place you were telling me about earlier too, the ranch. Yeah, that sounds cool. Super fun. Maybe I bring the lady down. We'll come down, spend a couple days. Like, doesn't even have to be a work thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Totally. Empty nesting this fall, so
it's time to party.
We could do right. I would love.
I appreciate you having me on as always, and
sweet dude. It's good times. All you guys out there listening, do me a favor. If you're a podcast listener, go to that podcast app and write a review. I really like reading the reviews. I say this all the time. I have no clue how the podcast algorithm gods work, but I feel like writing reviews that are good make it better. So write those, and it's also flattering to read them sometimes. I mean, I haven't got a bad one. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. And freaking trolls will be like, boom, 1 star. But if you want to help me out, do that. If you would like to see some free content, go to Instagram or Facebook. Check out Biker B1. If you want to get some of that cool swag that I was talking about, hit up the shop. One way or another, support the channel. If the only way you can support the channel is hitting the subscribe button or the like button on this video because you enjoyed it, do that at least. And then the last thing that I have to say is it only takes a bike to be a biker. So get out and be one.